and thanks for joining us for the Midday News. The people of Lagaip in Enga are protesting the decision of the Electoral Commissioner, Simon Sinai, to move the counting location to Goroka, Eastern Highlands. They want the counting done in the provincial capital, Wabeg. The protest follows a one-day peaceful polling on the 31st of October. After polling, 70 ballot boxes were retrieved and brought to Wabeg Police Station for safekeeping. Enga Provincial Police Commander Acting Superintendent George Kakas said after the boxes were safely stored in the police station, the Electoral Commissioner gave the directive for the boxes to be transported by security personnel to Goroka for counting to minimize security threats. PPC Kakas said this decision created animosity among voters who flocked to the police station in masses, demanding that the boxes not be moved out of Wabeg. The matter is with the Electoral Commission. Sinai is yet to respond. Prime Minister James Marape has officially welcomed Newmont Corporation, the world's leading gold company, into Papua New Guinea. In a press conference on Monday, PM Marape emphasized the significance of the corporate transaction as Newmont assumes control of all Newcrest operations in Papua New Guinea, including the Lihir mine in New Island and Wafi Golpu project in Morobe. He said the acquisition adds value to Papua New Guinea's global branding as an investment destination.
In any case, the PNG business is not affected. In fact, this adds value to our PNG interests. We have a keen interest in what's happening in Lihir. We want Lihir to be ongoing, productions in Lihir to be maintained, return on investment, not just to Newmont now, but to the economy, to our country, and wherever we can collect from must be collected. And so Lihir will be still ongoing.
Prime Minister James Marape said the government is expected to make a major announcement concerning the Wafi Golpu mine project in Morobe. He said this eagerly awaited announcement is set to take place during the PNG Mining and Petroleum Conference scheduled for next month in Sydney, Australia. Prime Minister Marape revealed that a 36-month timeline has been stipulated for the partners to reach a final investment decision, underscoring the state's stake in advancing this pivotal project. The government is aware of the country's exposure to various natural hazards, disasters, according to Representative for Defense Minister Lusete Lasomana, who is the acting director for National Disaster Center. He emphasized that the government is committed to support the work of the national and provincial disaster centers to ensure communities are safe and resilient to disasters. According to UNDP, PNG this year has faced 7 natural disaster hazards and are also on board to mitigate new ways to overcome disaster risk management through the one-week conference. The nation's disaster center, with assistance of UNDP and the government, is in preparation for anything to come in 2024 and onwards, with a new Disaster Risk Management Act currently in process.
The districts and agencies therefore should have formal establishment of disaster coordination centers and as our frontline disaster risk reduction and disaster emergency responders.
Upon celebrating its 50th anniversary, Air Niugini also unveiled a new monument featuring the DC-3P2A&Q aircraft outside its Port Moresby office. This aircraft, originally mounted in 1979, pays tribute to airmen who flew in Papua New Guinea, named Larry Blackman after a notable captain. It received a facelift and lighting, bringing it back to life. The unveiling was attended by Air Niugini's leadership, including acting CEO Gary Seddon. In regional news, more than 20,000 Queenslanders are experiencing homelessness, a potentially busy fire and cyclone season. Those who lived experience of life on the streets are teaming up with social workers and emergency personnel to make disaster preparations more inclusive.
Store food and no oven to cook with, Jasmine Udale found homelessness toughest during the COVID-19 pandemic.
It actually led us into having to pick out a bins for food or beg for food.
The 23-year-old found emergency service workers a challenge to deal with.
They just treated us like criminals. They didn't look at our situation and go, oh, hey, how are you doing?
Jasmine Udale is among those who've shared their lived experience with researchers for a new set of resources aimed at making sure those without a safe place to live aren't overlooked in a crisis.
We tend to make assumptions that everyone has a home, that everyone can read at a certain grade level.
Emergency services and council workers across Queensland are being offered training.
There's around 140 people sleeping rough most nights here in Cairns. There's probably another 4,500 people that don't have a safe place or secure place to call home on any given night.
Each year we get a different cohort of people that have come to this town that never heard of cyclones, for example.
Other states are starting to take up the concepts too.
Rather than resources and information and pamphlets, but actually start with a real human conversation, person to person, so that people can, break down those barriers and the stigma that we hold in society.
With compassion for those doing it tough.
Be seen as a human being, but have feelings and emotions, and not be blamed because they're homeless. I'm hoping it gets rid of the unconscious bias around homelessness.
Pacific countries will advocate to get the world back on track for a 1.5 net zero future at the upcoming COP28 climate change negotiations to be held later this month in the United Arab Emirates, says Forum Secretary General Henry Puna. He said for all Pacific today marks another milestone related to a topic close to all our people, climate change. Climate change will be on the agenda for the PIF leaders meet this week, and that the Pacific priorities and messages would be taken to the COP28 negotiations in Dubai. The COP28 opening ceremony will be held on the 30th of November in UAE. In sports, interest for the annual Egmark Sepik Rugby League Nines tournament has again attracted 24 teams from across the country. The two-day tournament scheduled to run from November the 23rd to the 24th will see all 24 teams converge at the Pora Oval, WEWAC, for the fourth consecutive year since 2020. Tournament director and founder Bradley Simon said the master draw has been released and will see the 24 teams playing in 4 pools of 5 across the 2 days, culminating in the finals. Simon said apart from the regulars, they have a new team for the first time coming from Western Province called Kiunga Catfish. 2022 Egmark Sepik Nines defending champions Funeral Homes Laumas are again ready to put up a strong challenge to retain the cup this year. This year's cup winners will walk away with 25,000 kina as first prize, 15,000 kina as second prize, 10,000 kina as third prize, and 5,000 kina as fourth prize. Outside teams are expected to start arriving in WEWAC from this week onwards. Retiring jockey Damien Oliver will have to wait to find out if he'll get a Melbourne Cup farewell with his horse Alinqua under an injury cloud. The French gelding will need to pass a final vet inspection Wednesday morning as it faces being scratched from the famous race.
No horses and no parade. But fans of tomorrow's famous race still caught a glimpse of an animal and some musical jockeys. They saw the Cup too, as it returned to Melbourne after touring the country.
Obviously the following months after the Melbourne Cup are just, a bit like a whirlwind.
Damien Oliver has won the Cup 3 times. A fourth would be a fairy tale farewell.
4 would be unreal. To go out in my last year winning a Cup would be a dream come true.
There's doubt over his 32nd and final Cup race, with Alan Kerr suffering a stone bruise during track work.
It's a foot abscess, so it's kind of just a timing thing. If it can heal in the next 24 hours, he's a chance to take his position. Irish horse Vauban looks set to start the Cup as the short-priced favourite. After finishing runner-up in previous Cups, Willie Mullins says Vauban is his best chance at victory.
I think we had every shilling we had on the horse, and we were supposed to leave the next day. I don't remember what happened for the next 4 days, and whatever happened the next 4 days is what draws me back.
Racegoers at Flemington tomorrow should expect a warm and rainy day with a forecast stop of 29 degrees and the chance of some showers hitting in the afternoon. A mixed forecast, but at least it's better than last year.
That's all for now. Do join us this evening at 6 for the main news. Bye now.